Welcome to the Quick Stop F1 show. My name is Thandie, and you could have been anywhere in the world today, but you're here with me. And I'm not usually the person who's here because this is a bit of a mix-up. Hello, it's Saturday. What am I doing on the Saturday show? Also, what am I doing the intro? But to answer that question is joining me as ever is my co-host for the day and my friend Paris.
Hi, guys.
I wish we had we actually don't even have the
applause
soundboard. This is a weird twist turn. This is a bit like, you know, when Disney characters, when we'd sometimes get like That's So Sweet Life of Zach and Cody. This is what it's giving, right?
Yeah.
Unfortunately, Nyasha and Tasha could not join us today, but we wish them, whatever they're doing, the best of luck. And speaking of best of luck, here we are to talk about qualifying in Vegas.
Yeah. I'm sorry, I'm just absolutely loving your chaotic energy right now because I feel like you're so discombobulated. You're like, wait, hold on, it's Saturday, it's not Sunday, it's not main show, it's Saturday show, but I'm here, I'm in the house. And it's your house.
Is it? I mean,
yeah,
it's like when
you're OG.
It's like when you sit at the head of a table and you're just like, I'm not supposed to be here. I don't cut the steak. Nyasha cuts the steak. Tasha cuts the steak on a Saturday. This isn't my position. I just sit there and enjoy as it is.
It's nice to be here with you.
Thank you so much, Paris. And being here with me, we are here to talk about, obviously, the Vegas qualifying. And I'm going to start by saying, did you get up really early to watch it?
I actually did. My eyes pinged open and it was like 6:01 and I was like, all right, cool. I'll just switch on the qualifying and then just rolled over, put the iPad on. So it was just really serendipitous and very lucky, to be honest.
Mm-hmm.
So yes, I managed to watch it live. I was still kind of like half asleep a little bit, so I did watch it again on the replay, just just to kind of freshen up with what I was watching. But yeah, I watched it live. Yeah, it was okay, you know. Obviously, I'm not super happy, but whatever, it was okay qualifying. What about you?
I didn't get up and watch it at all. I'm going to be very honest. I was asleep. Because me and Paris were texting yesterday, obviously about the show, and we both established that we were both drinking wine. So we were on the red wine. And for that reason, I did not wake up. But when I did watch it this afternoon, again, same heights, like kind of status as you. And also like quite a shared narrative that everyone kind of had across Twitter and Blue Sky, actually, where everyone was just like, don't watch that shit. It's not worth it. Do not step there and watch it. And I regret every second. A few weird things I noticed, but I'll start with you, Paris. Give me your overall takeaway from the day.
I mean, I think I like the Vegas circuit more this time around. It didn't vibe with me last time. You could really see how like fast-paced it was this time, and I generally think it could be an exciting race. You've got, Perez is in a fast car; he's all the way at the back. You've got Lewis going to come through the pack, and we know that he's going to hand out overtakes to everybody because the Mercedes is quite pacey this weekend. So I think generally there could be some good that comes from Vegas. And yeah, quali wasn't, it just wasn't an amazing quali in that sense, but there was some interesting moments with like people out of position and stuff.
Yeah, I do remember like last year, heavily going on what you were saying, last year, the preparation for it was really chaotic. Obviously, we had a lot of like Vegas residents like totally against the track. A lot of people saying like it was half finished. I don't know if you remember last year, like we were literally having that helicopter view and you'd still see like construction workers working on it while like people were going around the track. I definitely agree that this year it feels ethical as it can be and like a bit more structured as it can be, as Formula One can ever be anyway. But in terms of the qualification, like not very surprising. Do you think it was surprising for you, particularly the Mercedes result?
I think the Mercedes result was surprising for me. I mean, Perez, I feel like we haven't we can't expect much from him anymore. You know, like, it's sad to say. Just
I have a right grilling for that man. Like,
yeah.
Okay,
and let's get into it. I was going to say, let's get into it. Let's talk about like who got out in Q1, Q2, Q3.
Right.
So in Q1, you had both Aston Martins of Alonso and Stroll. You had Albon, who was out qualified by Colapinto this week, and you had Perez. So and Bottas as well, actually. I think Albon, like, I feel like he needs to pull his socks up, mate. Like, you can't have Colapinto coming in and whipping you up a little bit. Like, that's a bit bad. That's a bit mad. Alonso and Stroll, Astons, well, I don't know. Don't know what's happening with them. Them two are like way at the back.
I think with Albon, which I have been saying for a while, like Albon it was easy for him to hide behind a lot of people. It was easy for him to hide how quite mediocre he was.
Okay.
Is, I'd say. And so now the cracks are showing because we have someone in a position who's of equal, if not better, skill. And so when anyone tells me like, oh my God, like I'm surprised the Albon was meaty. Are you? Because I swear he was always meaty. And it was just easy to hide behind everybody else. He was always the main first driver, but was he always somebody you'd expect a good drive from? No. I don't know.
Maybe because he was against Sargent before, right? And like,
who, let's be honest, it's not that hard to look great next to Logan Sargent. Let's be honest.
Exactly.
Like, I could sit next to Logan Sargent with no driving license and a provisional license and still probably get facts. Right.
Exactly. and then I think, like, obviously his esteem from coming from Red Bull and like going through that whole program, and I think people just generally come to expect a high level from him. So it's a shame that you're, as you say, he's kind of showing everybody where he really truly is.
I guess. Okay, so moving on from that, should we discuss the dreaded Mercedes?
Yeah, let's go for it. I mean, yeah.
I can see the misery just hitting your face, bro. Like,
because you know what? Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I had hope. I genuinely had hope. I had, yes. Like, Lewis was first in FP1, first in FP2.
Yeah.
Second in FP3 after Russell. Like, I genuinely thought that we were in for a Mercedes 1-2, like, you know, with Lewis up there, probably on pole. And I'm don't get me wrong, like I'm happy for Russell in a sense. Like, he did what he needed to do.
Yeah, he didn't do anything sketchy. He didn't do anything that would have pissed me off. To be fair, I've got nothing to say to Russell. Like, thank God you got it. And I'll be honest with you, I wouldn't be surprised if the result tomorrow is Russell behind Hamilton or literally in the same position. Either way, that's my prediction. Because as we've always seen, like, George gets it and then he just doesn't get it. Like, he's always really good in quali and then come race day, he's not the best. So I guess, I am definitely on the stance of George is doing well. He did well. Yeah. I feel like we're counting down the days till like, obviously, till the days. And do you know what? It was quite nice to see like Lewis still smiling throughout. I think we've seen some moments of him like a bit teary-eyed, guys, and I'm not keen on that.
I'm not loving that. I'm not loving that for him, and I feel like he would have probably been quite disappointed in himself today because there wasn't really any reason for the error. Like, even in Q2, I think he topped the timesheets, or he was like, I think he was first for a while. And we know that the pace is there for the first time. I always find it interesting though, like, call me a conspiracy theorist, but I always find it interesting how after a big blow up, like, obviously there's been the shelf life comments and all of the stuff around that with Toto this week. And people have obviously generally just been expressing how disappointed they are in the way that Mercedes has been treating Lewis during his final year and final send-off. And I always find that throughout this year, where there's been a blow-up towards Mercedes in particular, like after that email, everything, immediate race after, somehow the Mercedes has pace. Somehow the Mercedes finds, like, you know, do you know what I mean? I always find that so friggin' weird. And I know that sounds very conspiracy theorist, so please don't come for me in the sense that...
I love a conspiracy theory.
But do you know what I mean? Like, it's a bit... makes you raise your eyebrow a little bit and just... You're like, well, where was this pace last week? No one would have been cussing you last week. No one would have been talking about Lewis's shelf life last week had he been on pole. Do you know what I'm like? Do you see where I'm going with this? I don't know. Yeah. Anyway.
And on the subject of like Lewis's like shelf life, there is this thing where people are like, I feel like the term 7th world championship, 7-time world champion has now become like a bit of a slur. Do you understand what I'm saying right now? Like,
it's like it means nothing.
Like it's like a mock. Like you'll say like, do you know what I mean? Like at one point I heard one of the commentators being like, what's going on with the 7-time? And it's like, ooh, like, are you mocking us? Like, what is this? I just say, like, at this point, as a very much a Team LH person, I definitely feel that we are counting down the days, as I have just said. And at this point, it's not so much about, are we gonna, because we're not gonna win anything. Like we've not won a lot, we've not achieved a lot, but it's now like how we do well. How many more races? 2 more races do we have? Yeah, 2?
Yeah. 2, and we're out of here.
And we're out. And good riddance to all. I saw someone tweeting as well how second in the sprint, according to Chris. So second in the sprint. And I saw someone tweeting as well how they subtly saw Toto smirk. Just conspiracy. I don't know. But yeah.
As in, like, when Lewis got 10th, like he smirked.
Apparently, I saw it on the internet. I didn't see it.
I didn't notice it. I mean, as I said, my eyes were half closed when I was watching it this morning. I definitely didn't notice it when I watched it the second time. But like, I don't know. It's there's something weird. But obviously, you know, it was in this instance.
Yes, when they cut to Toto, he was smirking.
Damn. Toto really. That man wants a target on his head. Like, he is after.
Toto's gone from literally being like top of Team LH to like literally like I've never seen a downfall so bad. Like I never expected it. I never thought I'd see it, guys. But I cannot believe how much we've literally gone from like, I thought like women, the same women who are thirsting for this man now are religiously giving him an ass whooping on the internet. Religiously, every single week. The same women who were saying, like, calling him daddy, and it's crazy.
He's showing his ass every week. That's why his ass is getting whooped. Because, like, why are you showing out so much all the time? And even he said something as well, like about Christian Horner, I think, in recent weeks. How Christian was the only person who didn't want to help like Susie Wolff when Susie Wolff was being attacked by the FIA in the way that she was earlier this year. And apparently he was, Christian Horner was the only person who didn't want to like, I don't know, support the statements that they were trying to put out. He wanted to do his own thing, blah, blah, blah. But Christian Horner's come out and basically said that he doesn't know what Toto's talking about because Toto sent him a message saying thank you, and maybe he's just mad that his driver is leaving for Ferrari. And you know what? Yeah, I was like, I don't often agree with Christian Horner.
I refuse to say I'm agreeing with Christian Horner, but girl, maybe.
I don't know, maybe. I feel like for he was just like, he's got other things that he needs to be worrying about right now, such as his car. And I don't know, I think the Susie Wolff thing was such a massive slap in the face for Susie. And I don't think that Toto should be weaponizing that in the way that he like, I don't know, he's just doing some weird like stuff these days. He's moving mad. He's moving mad, and he's moving like a person who's about to lose everything for no reason. Well, he's losing Lewis, so maybe that's why he's losing everything in a sense. But he needs to calm down a bit.
Yeah. Speaking of people who are moving like they're gonna lose everything, Carlos Sainz.
I said this. I mean, okay, so I feel like he's coming up to the end of the year. He ain't got nothing to lose. He don't need to play by the rules. He's like, what are you gonna do? You're gonna kick me out of your team? What are you gonna do? So
my problem with Carlos is though, like, why didn't you do this earlier? Like, you've had this whole time to show us you're a dog, you're a beast, and now you want to do it now that you literally, like, you're going to be ruling Williams. Is it Williams? It's Williams, right?
It's Williams. But it could be a psychological thing, because if you think about it, everybody knows that Ferrari is Leclerc's team. Like, that is he is the prince. He is the prince that came home. Like, the prodigal, like, they just love him. That is their baby. Yeah. So imagine, you know, you're trying to stay in, if you're Carlos, you're trying to stay in Ferrari for a long time. Ferrari have a good car. In quali for Vegas, they are second and fourth. Second and fourth. It's actually quite a mixed up podium. Like, if the top three qualifiers come through, which would be George Russell, Carlos Sainz, and then Pierre Gasly, who we should speak about in a second as well. But yeah, so just going back to my point really quickly, if you are Carlos in this situation, you're trying to keep Leclerc on side. You're trying to stay in that Ferrari for as long as possible, and you're trying to make sure that you toe the right lines. And yes, you kind of show out for yourself, but at the same time, you got to play the team game, because that's really where they want you. And I can kind of understand why maybe he was curbed a little bit over the years that he's been at Ferrari. But I've always said, like, from 2021, I've always said that the Ferrari pairing are actually a very strong pairing. Like, they're quite equally balanced. You've got Carlos with his kind of more technical side, and then you've got, Charles with his raw talent, raw pace. And I think they were such a good, when he's not bozo feeling it. I think, and if Ferrari had a slightly faster car, they really could have been like challenging for the championship and stuff over the last 2 years. So I think he's just pulled the gloves off. He's just said, well, you know what? Like, I played your game, I toed your line, and it still didn't get me anywhere. So look, let me do what I want to do for myself now for these last few races.
And unfortunately, I guess it positions him now in a place where I would personally say that, yes, we can see that you have talent, but it's a bit like wasted talent. I would say it's very similar in the sense of like Bottas. Like, we knew you were good, but when you were given the chance, were you that good? Did you show us? I'd say the same with Perez, but Perez is like there's examples in the book where you'll see Carlos Sainz next to him and Valtteri Bottas, but then there's a whole 3-page on fumbling, and it's dedicated to Perez. But that's a different situation for a different conversation. Talking on the grid, as you said earlier, talking on the grid, as you said earlier, we were talking about obviously the top 3, and we have Pierre Gasly. How has Pierre Gasly ended up there? I think he is an anomaly. Would you call him an anomaly?
I think in general, we know that the Alpine has been a little bit better, but it's still not like the greatest car. I actually think that for Vegas, it's the Red Bulls doing worse than and the McLaren doing worse, and then that has kind of opened up a little bit of space for some other people to come through. And obviously, Lewis should have been up there. So that kind of just mixed up the pack a little bit, and it could be quite an interesting race because of that. Gasly's going to start 3rd. I think generally he has continuously outperformed Ocon this entire season. Ocon's like down in 11th and Gasly's 3rd. So, clearly Ocon's not capitalizing on, he didn't even make it into Q1. So he's not capitalizing on whatever was happening there either. Yuki, little word for Yuki, my boy.
Yuki, I was ready to even
made it up into the top 10.
Yay! Yuki Tsunoda was flying through everybody. Like, he is so fucking underrated. He was really working that little Red Bull machinery that he could. Like, like, if I could say anybody has been so underrated this year, I would put Yuki Tsunoda there. 100%. How can we not love Yuki? Excellent performance from Yuki. It's just such
as well, he said a quote this week, which I thought was really interesting, which was that every single time, they send a driver to beat him, he destroys them. And he was saying this about, like, they're expecting Liam Lawson, and Liam Lawson's 15th, qualified 15th, and then Yuki qualified 7th. And I think that it goes to show that he works really hard and he consistently outperforms his teammates. Like, maybe consistently is a bit like over the top. Sometimes he does not, but like generally he performs better than all of his teammates. Yeah, and I think, I think I agree with you. He's just a bit underrated at the moment.
Heavy on the word of every time they send a driver, and that just also adds into the idea that Yuki definitely sees that there is, I would say, maybe, I don't know what word to use, but maybe an agenda against him. I think Yuki's the most qualified to be in the second Red Bull chair at the moment, more than the current driver who,
I mean, like Yuki qualified 7th, Liam Lawson qualified 15th, and Perez in the second Red Bull seat qualified 16th. That's mad. So both AlphaTauris qualified ahead of you. That's mad. Did you see as well? I don't know if you watched any of the pre-qualifying stuff. So apparently Red Bull bought the wrong wing. Jesus Christ, say that. I don't even, my tongue can't even say that. The wrong rear wing. I can't say it. Anyway, they bought the wrong wing, and they had to cut it with like literally a kind of a saw, a rotary. Yeah, it was so interesting. They had a wardrobe malfunction. I thought it was so interesting because I was like, there was even a point, I think, during one of the qualifying sessions where Max put it on pole. I was like, wow, you got a busted rear wing that they've just cut in the back, and you still managed to put it on pole like for a few seconds. Like, that's actually insane. That shows like the crazy engineering that goes into a Formula One car. Like, that kind of stuff, I just love it. It was just, I don't really love to give Red Bull too much props, but that was pretty amazing. I thought.
And do you know what? If you want to talk about really good ingenuity, Red Bull is a very good example anyway, so I'll never diminish that for that. If you want to talk about cheating as well, you can also, but that's neither here or there. But I mean, Max qualified what, 9th? Was it 9th, 6th? Let me check. 5th, that's it. 5th.
Yeah.
Probably going to bottle it straight to top 3 anyway, but it's nice to see him that low. I kind of get a little high from him that low, but anyway.
And then you had the McLarens, Norris and Piastri, who was 6th and 8th.
Yeah, I thought Piastri did a great drive today. Really good drive. I always think Piastri does a good drive. Lando, not too bad either. Strikes like slightly behind under Max, actually. Then you've got Yuki wedged between the two McLarens.
Okay. I think generally the grid has been really good on first laps this year, like not crashing and stuff. I think next year with all the rookies that might change. But
I'm so excited for that though. Like, bring on the young people, man. Bring them on. I really like that idea. Also, wherever Hamilton's in a weird situation, here comes Hulkenberg. I can't stand that guy. Like, anytime Lewis is in a weird pole position ass place, it's just always next to Hulkenberg. And to this day, I've never met a Hulkenberg fan face to face. I would love to dissect their brain, kind of pick them on what it is, what's the appeal, what do you guys do on a weekend, on a typical race weekend, how do you celebrate basicness? I would love, like, honestly, if I could have a Hulkenberg fan on the podcast, Paris, I would have them here just to unpick their brain and understand the ideology of it all, because I do not understand. I don't get it.
I wouldn't say I'm a Hulkenberg fan anymore. I think, but I remember when he first, maybe not when he first started. No, maybe it was around when I was about 20, so that's like 14 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
I reckon that's probably when he started.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, around 2000s.
So you
I remember seeing. I think I was an old school fan of him.
Mm-hmm.
So I just remember seeing his laps and just how he was driving at the time. I, off the top of my head, cannot remember which team he started off at. But you know, I do remember his name, and I remember thinking like, oh, he's pretty consistent. Like he's constantly around, and I did think that he would start like getting podiums or like coming up the field as he like got more experience. And obviously that didn't happen, and he's never had a race win or anything. But like, I think there was a quiet consistency about him at first. You know, like someone who's just really, really chilled and just gets the job done, and you can kind of just put him in any car and he'll keep going. I think now, like obviously 14 years later, where it shows that he has just been mid for his entire career, then you know you can look at just replacing him on the grid quite easily.
I always understand the appeal. I'm still trying to understand the appeal. Yeah,
I think that was it. Like there was something about him where you thought that he would do well, and he just never rose to the occasion like that. He's just has been mid. But yeah, and I remember when I met him, he was really cool. Like he was just really calm and really quiet, and just he was really lovely. So I think that's probably why he's just a cool person.
Yeah. I hear it, man. Like I hear anybody who stands hard for one driver, because everybody knows you can't tell me nothing about Yuki Tsunoda, and I will fight you guys on it. Yeah. So I totally understand that perspective. Yeah. But
do you have any predictions for the first lap of tomorrow?
Let me look at the grid right now. So okay. Do I think Pierre Gasly can maintain third position? Absolutely not. I think he'll subtly move down to Piastri at 8th, with Piastri moving forward to about 5th. Sergio Perez is going to be out the race by like the 10th lap, I'd say.
Okay. Race predictions. I'm loving this.
And if it's not the 10th lap,
picturing a DNF.
Yeah. Like if he it's not even going to be, if it's not the 10th lap, it's definitely going to be a DNF at some point during the race. He's going to spin out, probably on his own. Probably blame one of the younger ones.
Oh, and Colapinto had crashed. I forgot about this. So I was just looking at it. Yeah, he crashed in the end of Q2, I think it was. So that's why he ended up being 14th. But trying to think, will Williams be? They did say that Williams have more parts of each bit of his car, so hopefully they should be able to sort it all out for tomorrow's race. But yeah, just thinking about that as I'm looking at the grid. I mean, obviously, I think the DNF for Perez is hilarious. I'm sorry, I'm still thinking about you saying that.
The man got out qualified by Sauber. Like, what are we talking about? Like, at this point, I think he even crashes out on his own, and now it's easier to blame the younger ones. But now the younger ones are better than you, innit? Like, that is my 100% that's going to happen.
Okay.
Perez ain't finishing the race.
I think you're right. I think Verstappen, even with his janked up car, is going to end his janked up rear wing. I think he could move forward. The Ferraris are looking pretty strong.
Guys. He's definitely on podium. Let's be honest.
Yeah, I think Russell holding on to that pole position. Sainz is pretty quick. I can't see Russell holding on to the pole position.
I do like a little Sainz and George fight, though. I'm not gonna lie. I like when they go head for head. You know, I enjoy it. So on that one, I think Sainz might just get it. You know, if Sainz is on the dog racing that he's been showing recently, Sainz is gonna get it.
Yeah, I think as well, just like the type of circuit it is, it's such a high speed circuit, technical precision, all that kind of stuff. And I don't know if George can hold it down for the entire race, not get caught up in whenever they do the pit stops. And like, hopefully Mercedes have a good strategy for all of that. I definitely think Lewis is going to come through. I'm praying Lewis comes through and comes up and that car stays fast.
So I think George's kind of strategy needs to be at least a podium in this race for the remaining Mercedes fans. I'm really interested in knowing who the remaining Mercedes fans are, but for the sake of them, it would be quite nice. Yeah, for the GR63 lot, you guys hold it down for your boy. I saw something on Blue Sky yesterday where someone said he looks like the assistant paperclip that used to be on Google Word. I didn't say that. Somebody said it.
That's cold.
It's horrible. Don't ever make fun of somebody's looks. God, I'm mean. Anyway. I would also like to know if Norris beats Max by 3 points, Max doesn't win the champ this weekend. But if Max outscores Lando, it's over.
Oof. Yeah, Norris, but at least just we know that Max is going to win the championship. I feel like that's just a given, but at least prolong it a little bit.
Yeah, we do. I don't know. Lando? Where is Lando? So Lando is 6th, right behind Max.
He has a chop shot rear wing. How can you not out-qualify him?
That's what I mean. But because Lando now in the mood where he knows that this guy isn't his pal? Like, we're not playing tic-tac-toe. We're playing get a championship, right? So if he's on that mood... If he's on that mood...
I was going to say that he did say something about that this week, how him and Max appear to be closer friends than they actually are. And they're really cool... But he knows that on track, they're like, they got to do what they got to do on track. I don't know if that was just words. And I feel like maybe now he's realized, like, after the Max pushing him off and all that kind of stuff, he's like, oh, actually, this guy does not respect me. And maybe I've been too nice to him.
Sorry, completely out of context. But I also saw a quote from Max this week where he was saying, like, he doesn't care about records and... That was very specific of him, right?
Yeah.
Did that feel like something had triggered that comment?
I don't know. You can look at. I always say, personally, I always think Max has one foot out of the door of F1 anyway. Like, that guy is ready to jump at any. Hell yeah. Max is like, if someone said to him, "I'll pay you the same amount of money, and all you got to do is race your eSims," like 100% he'd do it. Like, he literally...
He's not asked anymore, is he?
No, he's not. And I feel like he just stays because he can win. Like, what? It's most of the time it's an easy win for him. I feel like if everybody pressured Max for long enough, like for one season, he'd be like, "Raw, like, why am I dealing with all this stress? Let me go about my business. I'll go look at another." He just likes racing, so he would go do e-racing. He'd go do another thing. And he has said countless times how much he's not trying to stay in Formula One. That man he's got one foot out the door. He doesn't go down. But I think it was very interesting that he obviously quoted pretty much Lewis's stats. He said, "I'm not going to stay in Formula One until I'm 40. I don't care about getting over 100 podiums," or something he said, or 100 race wins. And there was another, it was like 3 quotes.
You was never going to get it anyway. Not under Christian Horner. You ain't getting that. That's why, if the opportunity was open to you, if you had the potential and the talent and the genuine drive without the team, the car, the engineering, and the team boss, you'd have the opportunity to do that. You'd want those dreams, but those dreams are not in your vicinity because you're a plastic driver.
I will say nothing to what you have just said. Yeah, I don't know. I think Max has an interesting psyche, and I'd be really interested to find out why he specifically he quoted those stats for a reason. Do you know what I mean? And I'm pretty sure he has 7 world championships as well. So I think he quoted those stats for a reason. I don't know what the reason specifically is. I'm not in the man's brain, but I also do always think that he's ready to jump at any time.
Mm-hmm. I would like to know, I did actually get an invite to the Red Bull Championship party in Victoria.
Are you going to go?
Do you want to come?
Yeah, let's go.
You want to go?
When is it? Yeah.
On the Sunday. Do you want to come? I'll add you as my +1.
Yeah, let's go.
I asked Yasha, like, where am I going? And I was like, I'll go.
Let's wear Mercedes jumpers.
Should we? Should we go? Okay, cool. I'll add you to my guest list. Let's do it.
Yeah, we gotta find a nice outfit that is like repping LH or like, you know, team L.
I like to trigger the masses. I like to go in environments where I'm not supposed to be. I'm really interested to see like the general consensus. Yeah, let's do it.
I would 100% rock up to an ops party just to fuck with. Like, I don't really care.
You just do it. Okay. I'll wear my Team LA
It's not even a thing.
I'll wear my goat tee either way. Or I might just wear my little Ferrari top. I have a new Ferrari merch, so I might just do that. Let's do it.
I feel like you have to have Ferrari merch, but it has to have Lewis on the Ferrari merch. Mm-hmm. Otherwise, it just looks like you're repping Ferrari.
Yeah. But I'm still repping Ferrari either way. It's the 8th, right? Yeah, the 8th. The 8th, right? Yeah, the 8th. We'll be there. What's your race prediction then? Do you have any?
I think mine's are pretty similar to yours. I am going to be watching Norris and Verstappen very closely, as you just said. I do hope that Lewis is able to come through the back and nothing crazy happens for him. I'm not sure where Russell's going to end up. But I do hope that both Mercedes end up on the podium. I think they deserve it. The car's quite fast this weekend. And there's at the moment, there's no reason for them not to. So, yeah.
Car always looks fast, though, during quali, and then all of a sudden it's got all these problems. I'm sick of this. You know, I'm so sick of the Mercedes shit, bro. I'm sick of them.
Two more races.
And then we can breathe. And then we could exhale. Every time I'm in the middle of doing my driving lessons, and every time my instructor, like when she like tells me to pull in, she goes, clutch up. And then she tells me to put the handbrake on, put the gears into neutral, and she goes, and breathe. And that's just how I feel will be. She goes, and breathe.
Yeah. End of the year.
We'll be all right, guys. Anything else, Paris?
No, I think that's everything that I've got. Yeah, we didn't collect any tweets today, unfortunately. I'm really sorry, guys.
Yeah,
we weren't on job.
Yeah,
Tasha is our like, you know, our navigator, our person, our way forward on a Saturday. And
like I didn't even know the furniture around here. I got lost in my own building. You know, I'm not used to this. So thank you for anyone who's continued to actually listen to my rambling and my awful direction of this podcast. As you guys know, I'm normally on a Monday with Yasha, so the Saturday show is Tasha's baby, but unfortunately she could not make it. But I think we did pretty well, Paris. I wish we had the sound.
We did all right.
It's gonna give you the I feel definitely people come to the Saturday show as well for some like real calmness, because Tasha has this gorgeous like soft voice. I didn't get that from today, lads. I'm so sorry. Like, I know that opening was really chaotic. I was just trying to get my feet, and here we are. So yeah. So
I'll work on my voice too, so I have something a bit sultry or like I don't know. I probably have a.
I love listening to you. So let me just actually read out the starting grid. So on number 1 we have George Russell, and then we have Carlos Sainz, then we have Pierre Gasly. Odd. Why are you there? Okay. Charles Leclerc, Max Verstappen, Lando Norris, Yuki Tsunoda, Piastri, Hulkenberg, Hamilton, and then Ocon, and the rest I could not give a fuck about. I'm so sorry. Yeah. So I guess I'm going to end it here. How do I normally end the recording? I didn't even know how to end the recording. So
follow us. Thanks for listening.
As you know, guys, we actually have a live show coming up. Let me actually shout out our live show. We have a live show in London on the 15th, which is a Sunday. So it's Quick Stop Live. It will be me and Yasha and a surprise guest. You do get a bit of a bottle of bubbly. You get a bit of bubbly. You get a bit of rum punch. And you also get some Christmas goodies. I cannot tell you what those Christmas goodies are, but come along and you'll see what they are. As per usual, we will be streaming the best race of the year. And for us, that was Silverstone. And then obviously followed by a live podcast. And, you know, Nyasha's back in London. It'll be lovely for you guys to come see us. I'll be back in London. It'll be good vibes. Paris might be there. A few people that you know from the Formula One world will be there. Always good vibes, always good fun. Just, you know, black humor and fantastic insights as we prepare for the best year thus far for a very long time that we've literally not had. So yeah, I would love for you guys to join us. The ticket link is in our Instagram. If not, message me and I will send you the ticket link. But I think that's all for all. Paris, any last words?
No, thank you for watching. If you got to the end with us. And what do we always say? What is it? Keep it on the black stuff.
Keep it on the black stuff. Like, subscribe, do all that. Keep it on the black stuff, you know?
Look, mate, if you've got this far, clearly you like what we do. So here's a link to subscribe to the Quick Stop F1 family. Give that a click. And here's another link to some more cool on our channel. Sorry, cool stuff. And remember, no matter what happens, keep it on the black stuff. Click the stuff. Click the links. Click the links. Click the links. There. They're there.